There's nowhere that I'd rather be on a hot sunny afternoon than on the cocoa development project here in Enugu State. Some of you guys have been following us on this journey, and as you can see right now, we've got our third set, that's our third plantation, being developed. The guys are stringing up the lines to sort of have an alignment of the plantation, right? But the aim of this is to ensure that we have a nice gridded out plantation that is well aligned and properly measured, because we don't want a case where in the future it becomes difficult to manage the plantation, right? So of course, whenever you invest your money into anything, you have to observe and monitor whatever you've placed your money into, so that you make sure that your investment is actually going into the right places. And as you can see, this is the second hectare that has been planted. So the team here are taking off the alignment to then, of course, finalize and fix up with the third hectare that we're working on right now. Cocoa is not just the only investment that you could, of course, get yourself into. People generally invest in things like, crypto, things like Forex, and real estate is quite popular. But the truth is, these are all nice investment opportunities, but you need to start considering things like commodities. And by commodity, I mean cocoa. Commodity, I mean palm. Commodity, I mean cashew. Commodity, I mean avocados, right? But generally, agricultural commodities are very, very good ways to secure your investments. That's your money, right? If you look at the best performing commodity last year, it wasn't Forex, it wasn't crypto, it was actually cocoa. Cocoa last year had a really crazy year. I think the highest it got up to was about over $12,000 per ton. And as of right now, I believe on average, you can get cocoa for around 9,800, or let's just say 10K per ton, which is absolutely incredible if you're a cocoa farmer, right? Which is why I'm telling you right now, if you're looking for where to put your money, find a good performing agricultural commodity and put your money in there. So let's look at our billionaires that we have in Nigeria. Dangote, for example. Dangote, of course, made his money from cement and also agriculture. He sells sugar, he sells salt as well. But of course, the major one he does is the sugar. He even opened up a new plant in Ghana not so long ago, right? So that tells you that these guys understand what works. And usually what brings in the sexiest money is agriculture. It might be boring, but if you want to make sexy money in life, go into agriculture like Dangote. Of course, oil and gas is also pretty good, but you don't have the billions of naira to get into oil and gas, but you might have the tens of millions of naira to get into agriculture. Okay, so look at how the money works and follow the money. Invest the money where, of course, it brings the best return on investment, and do like your billionaires are doing. Just to show you how much I believe in agriculture and owning agricultural commodities, I invested a lot of money into setting up one of the largest seedling houses here in the Southeast. What you can see behind me is the largest cocoa seedling house in Enugu State, if not the Southeast. We currently have over 100,000 seedling cocoa seedlings just behind me. And these seedlings are meant to, of course, occupy as much as 100 hectares of land for anyone who wants to get into cocoa. As you guys are aware as well, the government is extremely interested in converting Enugu State into a cocoa production and processing hub. So that's why a good percentage of this is going towards that project. But also for individuals who want to own their own plantations for themselves, we also do have seedlings for you. By the way, we are currently in June, and June is probably the best time to transplant seedlings into the soil so that they're able to enjoy as much rainfall as possible before dry season commences. Even though on our plantation we plan to have irrigation, but a lot of you guys may not have the funds to set up irrigation. And if that's the case, you want to set up your plantation around this period so that once dry season comes, it would have set its root deep into the soil and to be strong enough to sustain the dry season. Okay, so come in, let me show you what we've achieved in here. So as you can see, this is the over 100,000 cocoa seedlings that we have. And just to make sure you understand the specifications of these cocoa seedlings, these are not just any kind of cocoa seedlings. These were obtained from CRANE, that is the Cocoa Research Institute of Nigeria. So these are all hybrid cocoa seedlings that would start producing flowers 18 months after they are transplanted into the soil. And the expectation is that once these plants get up to 3 years in the field, they will start reaching their peak production, right? Start expecting them to have peak production at 3 years, right? So you can see them looking all fresh, looking all green. Let me pick some up for you to see. So these are our cocoa seedlings. You can see them looking nice. and fresh. We get this sprayed every week, sprayed with insecticide and also sprayed with liquid fertilizer to ensure that they are growing optimally, and also the pest, because cocoa leaves are very juicy, right? Even insects understand the value of cocoa. So we spray the leaves so that the insects do not eat them, and of course reduce the growth rate of the plants. Okay, so for those of you guys that might have questions like, oh, how many cocoa plants do I need for 1 hectare of land? So typically what we advise is in 1 hectare of land, you need to have around 1,100 cocoa plants. And then at the same time, we could then intercrop that with either pawpaws or plantains or bananas, right? At the moment, what we've done is intercrop with pawpaws, but we're planning to have the 3rd hectare intercropped with plantains, right? So if you have 1,100 cocoa, you also want to have 1,100 plantain, pawpaws, or bananas, right? So that way, the plantain or the pawpaws produce good shade for your cocoa, right? And then, of course, you're able to then generate revenue within your first year of planting, because pawpaws and plantain produce within the first year. At least you can get small change and put inside your pocket. So if you're ready to set yourself up for life, not just yourself, your family, your kids, your great grandkids, your generation. If you're ready to set your generation for life, reach out to us and would advise you on what you need to do to set up your own cocoa plantation, or if it's palm you're interested in, or if it's something else. As far as it's an agricultural commodity, we're here to provide you with the expert service and the knowledge you need to set your family up for generational wealth. Cocoa, trust me, if you can set up cocoa for yourself, in fact, do your own research, you see the numbers, 10K per hectare or more, Seth. Don't worry. Like I said, another video is coming where I'll break down the numbers for you. Those of you that like money, I'll make a video that details how much you can make as revenue and also profit from cocoa plantation. All right. I'll catch you guys in the DM. Thank you.